Baker Botts, LLP provides podcasts for educational purposes only. They are not legal advice and are not intended to establish an attorney-client relationship. This communication may constitute attorney advertising.
Welcome to the Environmental Evolutions Podcast, where we explore the changing landscape of environmental law and policy. I'm your host, Megan Berge, coming to you from my actual office in San Francisco, California, with a quick PSA for businesses that, quote, do business in the state of California. Last week, the California Legislature approved and sent to Governor Newsom to sign two bills, Senate Bill 253, the Climate Corporate Data Accountability Act, and 261, the Climate-Related Financial Risk Act. In short, Bill 261 establishes requirements for entities doing business in California with global annual revenues exceeding $1 billion to report their Scope 1, 2, and 3 greenhouse gas emissions and their financial risk from climate change. Bill 253 establishes requirements for entities doing business in California with global annual revenues exceeding $500 million to report climate-related financial risks in accordance with TCFD, which is short for Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosures, for anyone who doesn't know that off the top of their head. In terms of what companies need to know now, here are a couple quick hits on the new program. First, in terms of reporting requirements, starting in 2026, reporting entities would be required to report their Scope 1 and Scope 2 greenhouse gas emissions. Then, in 2027 and thereafter, reporting entities would be required to report their Scope 3 greenhouse gas emissions from the prior fiscal year. All emission disclosures must be verified by an independent third-party insurance provider, and CARB, the California Air Resource Board, who is the entity that will be overseeing this program, must make the disclosures publicly available, and reporting entities must likewise post the disclosures on their own websites. And in case you're wondering, Bill 253 defines Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 emissions for the purposes of the program. Second, in terms of who is covered, neither bill defines doing business in California, so that very important detail will be hammered out through the implementing regulations promulgated by CARB. It's notable that unlike the proposed federal reporting requirements, the California requirements would apply to both public and private entities. Finally, CARB is authorized to seek administrative penalties in the amount of up to $50,000 per reporting year from covered entities that fail to make their reports public or that provide inadequate or insufficient reports. As with every landmark legislation, the devil will be in the details of the implementing regulations, which CARB must complete on or before January 1, 2025. Governor Newsom has until October 14th to sign the legislation. If and when that happens, we will be back with another episode that discusses what companies in and out of California should be watching for as CARB begins to implement the rules. In the meantime, links to the bills are available in today's episode notes. With that, I'm Megan Berge. Thank you for spending time with me.
Thank you for listening to this Baker Botts podcast. Baker Botts has the experience, knowledge, and people to solve our clients' most significant legal issues. For more information on Baker Botts practices, please visit us at bakerbotts.com. This presentation is provided by Baker Botts, LLP for educational and informational purposes only. It is not legal advice and is not intended to establish an attorney-client relationship. Under the rules of certain jurisdictions, this communication may constitute attorney advertising.